with the Park District and how we as Rotarians can help support them, and they will be happy to support us, I know that. So here's Katy.
All right, well, while he's bringing it up, I will just say I'm very honored and touched by that award, so thank you to all that contributed to that happening. I'm still a little bit shocked. So thank you so much. My name is Katy Coss. I am the Recreation Superintendent for Fair Oaks Recreation and Park District. I'm going to basically just kind of go over a little bit of what we do and how we operate and how we're connected to Rotary. We'll have a Q&A at the end, so feel free to ask questions for as long as Pete allows it. And I did bring Dan here mainly tonight, not that he couldn't speak if he wanted to, but if you have any complaints or in the question and answer, it's about parks, he's here to support me in that. And so I am going to go ahead and get started. I think there's a little clicker here. I'll give it a shot. This is my first Prezi, by the way, so if you've ever done a Prezi before, they're quite interesting. All right. Still working? Wait for it. Maybe not? Is there a trick to the remote?
No.
It's frozen. Maybe you can refresh. Either way, I can wing it completely. That's why they pay me the big bucks. Right, Ralph? All right, well, it's loading, so maybe it'll work then. I'll just go ahead and give you a brief history. I started here in November of 2005, so I've been here just about 12 years, 12 glorious years. I absolutely love what I do. Even on the worst day, it is the best job, and I'm not saying that just because one of my board members is here. It's actually a fact. If you just click present up at the top corner, that blue button way over there. Awesome. We'll give it another shot. Yeah! All right. So like I said, I love my job. On to the presentation. Parks make life better. That's the slogan for our statewide organization, Parks Make Life Better. And boy, was there a little bit of pushback when we first did that as a state 6 years ago because the recreation people felt left out. But basically, if you're in a park, you're probably recreating. They go hand in hand. So our slogan for the entire state of California is, Parks simply make life better. I think everybody could think back on your childhood and remember at least one, if not quite a few, memories, good memories in a park, doing something, recreating, spending time with your family. So that's our slogan. These are just a few bullet points of what I'm going to try and cover tonight, just kind of our professional organization, which I've touched on a little bit, our wonderful team, which I will constantly brag about, our wonderful board of directors, and we do know how to recreate ourselves, in case you were wondering. We have our top 10 things that we are working on right now that are coming up in the future. It's the staff's top 10 favorite things that are coming down the pipeline. Fair Oaks is still growing. You know, since I've been here in 2005, everybody said we're built out, we're built out, we're built out. But we are growing. I'm sure you've all seen. Gum Ranch is coming in. We've got some development right here on Fair Oaks Boulevard. Just things are growing. So wherever we can find a little crevice in Fair Oaks, we're putting in something. So it is a good thing for the Park District. Community partnership, that's where I'm going to tie in our connection with Rotary. We have over 20 community partner groups in Fair Oaks. I'm going to focus on Rotary tonight. And then transparency and practice, that's one of our key words. We're a public agency. Transparency should be our first word right after we introduce ourselves, because everything we do should be what we're willing to share with you when you come up and ask. We are transparent. Sometimes too much, depending on the night. So I will click to the next one. All right, so everybody said, make it a little personal. So I'm gonna make it a little personal. How did I get here? It'll be brief, don't worry. I don't have that much to share just yet. The making of a recreation superintendent. So I am from the wonderful state of Illinois. Woo! Born in 1981. I have a very large family. I have 33 first cousins. Don't ask me how. But cold winters in Illinois. That's all I'll say. I'm from very small, closer to a farming town than anything in the Chicago area is the best way I can explain it, but it's really not anywhere near the city. It's called Crystal Lake, Illinois. You can look it up. It was just voted number 10 in the list of best cities to live in. So tagline that. This is me. I was bald for quite a while, pretty much, so that's my wonderful baby picture, and we'll just keep moving on. But the dimples never went away. Everybody in Fair Oaks says every time I see you, you're always smiling, so I thought I'd give you one shot of when I wasn't. So my grandparents' dog had eaten my chocolate chips. So this is me recreating with my cousin Emily back in Illinois. And then this is me working teen camp. So I was a camp counselor, so that's where my career in Parks and Recreation started. This is me as a camp counselor. I was definitely a baby back then. And then I was a resident advisor at Chico State. Woo! That was, I totally got A's. I lived a balanced life, but the moment my life pivotally changed is when I become a resident advisor. And I know that sounds cheesy, but spending time with residents right when they're their most vulnerable, parents are gone, is some of the best connections I've ever made in my entire life. I still talk to probably 80% of them, have gone to weddings and all kinds of stuff, and it's just, that's where I started really realizing the importance of a community. And it doesn't mean just in a town, it's a community of whatever you're involved in, like Rotary Club. So that was my Chico days. These are my triplet nieces, and that's my family back in Illinois, and that was a big shocker to my brother, considering they weren't planning for that. Identical triplet girls, it's a 1 in 250 million chance, so it's definitely a big shocker. The sign they made says, "Have fun at Chicken Festival in Katy." So, and my life is basically my animals. I have 2 cats too, but they didn't make the slideshow. This is my dog Nova. If you're Facebook friends with me, it's really all I put on Facebook. So she is definitely the light of my life. So that's just a little personal touches to how I got here. I did do exchange to LSU for my last year of college, so I could go to a school with some football. It was the best time of my life. I loved it. It's a great school. All right, so I'm going to briefly touch on this just because I already mentioned it. California Parks and Recreation Society. It's the whole state, over 4,000 members and agencies. These 9 core values are actually on the back of our business card for the Park District, if you have one of those. These are all the things we focus on as a Park District that connects to our state organization. I'm sure you can relate and have that in Rotary. And so some of the big things, strengthening safety and security, protecting natural resources, these are kind of our guiding principles as we go through each year and plan things that we're going to do for the Fair Oaks community to serve you. Again, if you're interested in anything, I can always talk to you at another time. We also have the National Recreation and Park Association, NRPA. That's over 50,000 agencies across the United States. Again, both agencies have conferences every year. It's very huge. Actually, it's in New Orleans this year. Ralph, you want to send me? Might not come back. So that is NRPA. Let's get on to the good stuff. The team. I can literally say, and I know this for a fact, we have the best Parks and Rec team in the nation. There's some stats on what we have. I'm not going to go into, we have 15.5 employees. That's not really the heart of who we are. It's the people themselves. But we have a good, solid team, and we're still growing. Okay, but everybody that's here, I was asked during a recent interview for our administrator position, one of the candidates asked, you know, what's my #1 thing that we have going here? Also, what's our #1 thing we need to work on, but I won't share that tonight. But it's our staff. The #1 thing we have going here in Fair Oaks is that we are all on the same page. We all understand that community, relationships, and partnerships, and serving, and doing fun, new, trendy things, but also respecting traditions and the past and the people who were here before us, all matter in Fair Oaks, and that's why we are who we are, and I absolutely love our team. This is one of the best times in our life here in Fair Oaks. So there's Dan and Sam. I'm just going to give you some insight. Some of them are hard to see. This is what we use for hiring flyers, so it's very motivational. Shows you we like each other. I'm thinking that's me. Sabrina and Nick are both recreation coordinators with me, and that was Safe Halloween outside the theater in a very tight ski suit. That's Yesenia, and then myself. Last year, one of our, we have 3 movies in the summer, and the middle one is usually our special movie. This was one of the coolest things we did. We brought back that old school feel. We did the little wooden cars with the kids and showed the movie Cars. And the Parks Department got all involved and they built these big ramps and all these kids built these cars in advance. And then we had Lowe's come out with the little wooden cars and we had a whole station. All I heard was this hammering of all these kids and their parents helping them build little wooden cars. And then they were able to race them. Well, the staff got all invested a month in advance. We had this competition, and somebody like melted metal into the bottom of their car to make it go faster. And we're very competitive in Parks and Recreation, but it was just a really cool event. It just felt almost old-fashioned, for lack of a better description. And so Sam Rana, one of our park workers that's been here for quite a few years, built this whole car that you could sit in and take your photo with. So it's just something different that we did. We had boxes we saved well in advance. The kids could come, paint the outside of their box to make it look like a car, and then they got to sit in it during the movie and eat their popcorn. It was just very cool. And this is us at Chicken Festival. So we did the geo tag. You would think I would know. Yeah, something. Well, anyways, you can go on Snapchat, which is an app, and check yourself in places and take a photo with this thing in the background depending on what town you're in. So we did that, and that's our secret break room that we don't necessarily advertise to the public because we work an 18-hour day that day, and so it's hot and sweaty, and we do a lot of break time in this secret little room, which is the Arts and Crafts building. Not that top secret. The wrecking crew, it's the rec team, so let's spin on words. We call ourselves the Wrecking Crew, so this is technically my team of people. So you've got Sabrina and you got Chelsea, they're both full-time recreation coordinators. That's Mary, she's been with us. Mary right there was a FOIAD student, which is the Fair Oaks Youth Advisory Board, and then she stayed on and we hired her part-time and she's been with us for just about 3 years, so we try to keep them. That's Nick Davison right there, and that is bubble soccer. I don't know if we have any takers in here. Maybe we need a bubble soccer net for the Rotary Club. Definitely gonna have to have you sign some waivers. You might want to wait till March maybe. It's a little hot out there, but it is pretty fun and it is pretty scary actually if you're claustrophobic at all. Not being able to see when you're gonna get hit is the hardest part, but once you get used to it, it's quite fun. Some of our staff actually, they do flips in it. And that's Sam, he's in our Fair Oaks Youth Advisory Board right now, and his parents actually own Mountain Mike's up at Sunrise in Madison. So, and that is myself, Mary, and Chelsea again. And then this is our rec team jumping off the sign very safely, Ralph. Having a little fun. And this is Chelsea and Ian is our newest recreation coordinator, and he was actually our intern back in 2011. And we stole him back away from Mission Oaks, so we're going to keep him. Ian is actually your community partner, contract representative for the Park District, and one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. And this is just some more of the rec team right here with our infamous mascot, Rocky the Rooster. All right. Parks Make Life Better crew. There's Dan actually at the CPRS conference in Sacramento. And then we've got Dave, who actually was in recreation first, and Dan stole him. And that is Sam. He's been here about 12 years as well. And then we've got Sean on the right. This is just to put a name to the actual faces you guys see at every event. This is Sean hugging our brand new garbage cans. They are quite in love with them because they're like 20 gallons lighter in terms of the bags you pull out of them. We used to use 55-gallon drum bags, and when they get full, it's a nightmare for park staff. So these are pedestal garbage cans. You'll start seeing them pop up in our parks slowly. The board has agreed to finance them every year, which is great because you can't move them and start a bonfire in them. So we love those. This is the rec and the parks team together doing a team builder magic carpet ride. You probably don't want to know. That's Troy Langston. He's our newest park worker, and he was also stolen from the rec side as well. And there's Dan actually inside those doors when they were working on the bathroom project. One more department to go, the admin team. You never see the admin team. So this is Jennifer Lycan. They're all behind the scenes, and they support us so that we can do what we do. She's our admin services coordinator. And then we've got Marianne Howard. We call call her our CEO. She might as well be, but she's our full-time front desk receptionist. And then we have Mario, who's our accounting coordinator, and that's quite a funny photo. And then Mary Ann and John O'Farrell, if you know John, he's one of our other board members. And then that's Paula in the middle, and she's our part-time receptionist, and Mary Ann again. So that's just some insight into that staff. You've got a management team. If you don't know, we are currently hiring for our administrator. Maureen left us at the end of March. So we are in the hiring process, and we're getting very close. This Wednesday night, we're going to definitely probably end up whittling it down to one. But I definitely won't speak for our board. They get to choose. So we're looking forward to having some new leadership with the Park District, and hopefully it will be a great journey. But the management team consists of the administrator, myself, Dan, and Jennifer Larkin. So just some fun clip art here, really. It's Jen and Mario right there, and then that's Dan and I in some superhero capes at the CPRS conference in Sacramento. All right, now Ralph's favorite part, the board of directors. And some of these pictures are old because, I just cannot get them to take a photo. I'm not sure why. But we've got Brandon Rose, who recently left us. Fran Jacobs in the front. Ralph is hiding in the back. We have Jeff Simcoe, and I think you recognize the guy with the hat, but it's kind of dark. That's Mr. Maddox. And John O'Farrell on the right.
What's Mike doing?
Mike won a volunteer award, I believe. Ralph and Rand with Maureen when we did the Kathy Jones Memorial Walk Path dedication ceremony. And we've got Mary Proctor, Rand Jacobs, and Diana. That's at It's My Park Day. And then Brandon Rose helping put up the netting on our newly resurfaced tennis courts at Miller Park. And this is Meet Delinda. Delinda is our newest board member. She was actually a preschool parent for the Fair Oaks Preschool, which I'm sure some of you don't even realize that we run a full-time preschool program right over here at Grand Avenue, right off at the bottom of Grand Avenue, which I'll talk about a little bit later. So Delinda is our newest board member, and we are very excited to have her on the team. And this is just, we know how to recreate. So we do a lot of team building at the district. These photos up here, the top three are actually from a cardboard boat building competition we did that I won't share. Down here, this is actually the fall forum training in the Bay Area that we sent our staff to. This is Mo, Curly, and Larry, in case you didn't recognize them. We did a Halloween silent movie night. That's myself, actually, which was a sweet costume. I put a lot of time into that. And Nick Davison. So we go all out, for sure. It's another team builder. This looks like ice blocking, but I'm not going to admit to anything. We were just mimicking it. We weren't actually doing it, I swear. Montview. And this is Chicken Festival with our team. And another team builder. So I just wanted to make it brief. The whole point of me explaining who our team is some of you know everybody. Warren knows everybody. So he probably could have taken a nap during that part of the presentation. But not everybody does. And I just, people are very title specific and I'm not. Okay, Recreation Superintendent, fancy title. I'm very honored to have it and I hope to have it for a while. But your title means absolutely nothing. It's how you treat your staff. And if your staff is shining and your staff is supported, your job is so easy. It's just so easy. That's how I approach the job, and I put my staff first because they're the ones out there doing the hard work. So I want you to know who they are and get to know them more and more because they're going to be here for a while, I hope. And I really value all the work that they put into everything. The parks guys, they know how to recreate. We don't put people in boxes at the park district. We don't say you're in parks, you can't come recreate over here. We do everything together. And that's why I love where I work right now because we do a lot of job shadowing and cross-training and just all kinds of great stuff right now. And a lot of that has to do with the support of our board of directors. And I'm not trying to make you look good, Ralph, but we really do appreciate it. So this is us in a nutshell. This is Unity Day. I know we had touched on some other stuff mentioned back here about LGBT, but I was just saying this is Unity Day and talking about no bullying in schools for whatever your sexual preference is or whatever your culture is. it was Unity Day, and every park district in the Sacramento area wore orange this day, and we did hashtags all over the place, and it was just a good feeling to have everybody connected and trying to stop some of the bullying and stuff like that in the schools. So I was pretty proud of that. All right, our products and service. This is our vision. You can read it in our activity guide. When you open it, it's right there on the second inside page of the activity guide every time. We strive to be the primary recreation provider of choice in Fair Oaks. Sounds fancy and great. A lot of people don't remember that. What does that actually mean? In a nutshell, we want to provide clean, green, and safe parks and facilities, quality programs and classes for all ages. I can't stress enough right now, our main thing that we're looking for is feedback on how to serve all ages. We don't get a lot of the feedback when we put it out there on social media, but if you have an idea for a class or a program, there's no dumb idea for us. We like to hear it, we like to brainstorm about it, we like to try and find an instructor that teaches it, and we like to at least give it the old college try. So if you have an idea, please come talk to us. Accessibility for everyone. We have a DAC survey, and I don't even remember what DAC stands for, but it's an accessibility survey the board paid for a few years ago to look at the park district and find the ADA compliance issues we have and try and make all of our facilities and all of our parks more accessible for everybody. So we're really working on that. It's a 10-year plan, and the board's first focus every year for every capital project we do and how we spend money is, let's look at ADA and safety first. So we really follow that. It means for us to have a fun, fair, dedicated, professional, and responsive team. We really focus in the office and in the Parks Department. If you call, we're calling you back. We want to have a conversation, even if I don't know the answer. Even if you're angry, I'm going to call you back and talk to you about it and try and see where we can end up in that. Sometimes I might have to do a little bit more research, but I'd rather you call than tell everybody else that you're either upset with us or you have an idea but we won't hear it. Come tell me, come talk to me. We want to have a conversation. Opportunities for growth, which is capital projects, staff training, working with the community, partnering on other projects. Community partnerships, which I'll talk about later. And if I didn't say it, special events, special events, special events. We do over 25 special events in the Fair Oaks community, not including Thursday night concerts. So when I started here in 2005, I was told this is a special event community, so we need to start adding events. I probably should have done it a bit slower than we did because we ended up with a few too many too soon. I will never, ever forget the day I sat down at Chili's at Sunrise in Madison to be asked, how would you feel if you took over the chicken festival? I was sitting with Todd Sebastian at the time. I don't know if Kathy or Dan were there, but you know, I was terrified actually. I was excited, but I was terrified. Big event, not a lot of succession planning, binders, just sitting around telling you how to do it. Best part about it was, I actually had to go out and have conversations with the different people that put on, it's just community focused at that time. The different people that had a different role in each section of Chicken Festival, I had to go have coffee with them or have lunch with them and talk to them. And that's how I got the knowledge of how to start Chicken Festival through the Park District. And yes, it had a little bit of a different look and feel. Of course it did. It's a lot different when you can pay somebody to put on an event versus actually having volunteers do it. We used to meet at the Rayleigh's event room over there, which makes me miss Tony Sestito. But yeah, I mean, that's just one of those monumental moments that you just never forget is that exact day at Chili's. So sometimes we just remember all that stuff. Top 10, our top 10. So I kind of put a list together with the help of my staff on what we felt our top 10 are right now so that I could talk to you a little bit about where we're going. So the easy stuff is team building and professional development. Things that we really want to focus on is community partnerships. That's straight out of the mouths of our board members. We did a Christmas tree lighting, holiday tree lighting in the village this year. The board supported it. We partnered with the Chamber of Commerce to raise the funds. Who went to the tree lighting this year? Anyone? Big, beautiful, bright tree. We had snow machines. You couldn't see grass in the park. Everybody was so excited. And that was because of a partnership. It was because of just one random conversation about trying to collect funds online and who knew people would donate, and then we end up with a tree. And if you ever want to see the photos on how that thing comes out of a truck in boxes, You can ask Dan. We do senior luau with the Rotary Club, super successful. There's not enough room in this room to fit the people who want to come to the senior luau. Who knew? Super successful. I'm still waiting for Mike to do a little flame throwing or something up there, but we do Easter extravaganza. The Lions Club's done the breakfast for almost longer than I've been alive. So super popular. We canceled the breakfast 1 year. Oh, not a good call. Not a good call at all. I'll just leave it at that. Not a good call. It's My Park Day. I've seen a lot of you at It's My Park Day. Raise your hand if you volunteered at It's My Park Day. That's at least half of your Rotary Club. It's amazing. Great day. Sometimes it's really organized. Sometimes we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants, but it's a great day. We spend the morning together. We make the parks beautiful. And it's really the day that we get to spend together doing things in our community. It's just as simple. We're not trying to get free work. We're trying to spend a day in the parks with our community partners, making the parks beautiful for everyone. The Fair Oaks Chicken Festival. Raise your hand if you've been to the Chicken Festival. That's almost everybody in this room. Fair Oaks Chicken Festival, third Saturday in September, always. I'm sure you know, you do a craft brew there, very successful. It is literally our favorite event. We work 18 hours just Saturday alone, but we work 14 hours every other day that week before, and nobody complains. It's like a staff team builder. We all love it, have a great time. Definitely don't want to know what channel we're on the radios. We definitely have some interesting chatter over the radios. But it's just a great event. Fair Oaks Preschool and Camp Fair Oaks, two programs that completely sell out. Camp Fair Oaks sells out every single week. Fair Oaks Preschool, we have a wait list all year long. So if you're interested in finding out more of that, you can let us know. These are just tidbits of what we do. Bubble soccer, we do company team builders now. We want to talk to Pete about doing it for some real estate agents, but we do team builders. We bring you out to the park, we'll get the food, we'll set up the bubble soccer, we do backyard games, we've done scavenger hunts, we'll do whatever you want to team build with your staff or your group. It could be a Rotary team builder, it's really fun. We had Intel come out, they've been out 4 times now. They're so big, they could probably come out 20 and still not go through all their employees. We love working with volunteers. Dan does most of the ongoing volunteer work. They've done a lot of making Fair Oaks Park on Madison Avenue a lot prettier as you drive by. If you haven't noticed it, drive by Madison Avenue by Fair Oaks Park and look. The whole hill's been cleaned up. They've planted plants on there. There's mulch in there. The sign recently got river rock put around it, which is really pretty. So check that out. The Secret Wonders of Fair Oaks. I don't know how many of you actually know there's a live theater organ built into this facility. So not everybody. So you literally meet here every Monday, give or take, and you don't know that we're one of only 2 park districts in the United States of America that has a live theater organ built into this building. So that means, like as Mike asked me this evening, hey, is there any more storage opportunities? What about all this over here? What you got back here, okay? That's actually pipes right here. There's some more pipes over here, and then the actual organ is in the wall. So if you want to see it in action, every January we do a silent movie night. Bring it back, old black and whites. The organist comes right out here. We have theater row seating. We get popcorn and old-fashioned candy and soda, and we have an old-fashioned silent movie night. If you haven't gone, put it on your list of things to do in 2018 because it is the coolest thing. The tree management program, boy, that sounds boring. That's what Dan does. But we actually did a grant with CAL FIRE and all these things that I actually don't participate in. Dan does it. But we've got iPads now, and all of our trees are marked, and we know when they need to come out and when they were put in and how the health of the trees are. And that's a huge program. I think it sounds a little bit easier than it is. We're the city of trees, though. We have so many trees in Fair Oaks. The recommendation this time is to maybe take a break. Don't plant too many more. So we have a ton of trees. The collection of memories that are created in our parks and at our programs is really our favorite thing that we do. The great part about knowing is I'm probably, by I just mean one of our parks or facilities or staff, is in one of your photos, on your Snapchat, on your Instagram, in your Facebook, or for those of you who actually print photos still, I'm in your photo album. We get to be a part of your lives, which is just crazy because you didn't necessarily personally invite me, but I'm still coming when you come to our events and our programs. And I think that's so cool that that connection is there for a lifetime. You know how many people say, oh my gosh, I remember, big family barbecue, Fair Oaks Park. You know, do you guys still have that grove with all those tables up there? People love Fair Oaks and we get to be in their memories. That's why I went into this profession and why I try to fight the desk syndrome as much as possible. So, I'm almost done. The road ahead. We've been contracting with the Fulton El Camino Park Police for 2 years now. I'm not sure if you knew that. We are still under the umbrella of the Sacramento County Sheriff's Department. However, they really only have 3 to 4 officers for a huge area. So they do the best they can, but they can't be there every time. So the Park District chose to contract with the Fulton El Camino Park Police. So does every other park district in this area. Orangeville, Mission Oaks, Carmichael. They all do. So they blanket the whole area. It's been a night and day difference from graffiti to drug issues that we have. And I know, oh my gosh, Fair Oaks, drug issues? What? Oh, you'd be surprised. Would not recommend coming out at nighttime alone, but our parks are still safe. It's just be smart. Don't put yourself in that situation. But the Fulton El Camino Park Police have changed it night and day. They are constantly texting Dan and I. They keep us in the loop when stuff happens. Unfortunately, they just lost an officer last week. Dan and I attended the funeral in Vacaville. So, I mean, we're really close to them because they help us provide a safer place to put on our programs. They're one of the best dollars we've spent, many dollars we have ever spent since I've been here in 12 years. Just a huge advancement. Capital projects. I'm not going to promise too much because we're still in the midst of approving our upcoming 3-year capital program. But we just finished our first 3-year capital program. As our board will tell you, they just itch for capital projects. All the time we sit down with them and they just want to build and change things and add to stuff. And we are finally in a point where we have a little bit more flexibility to do so. So there are things on the table. One day we would like a community center. You know, there are a lot of things. We get calls about pickleball courts and shuffleboard and all kinds of stuff. I just got asked by Gary from the brew pub about some French game that I've never heard of that he'd like to build in the village. Well, put that on the back burner just for a second because I can't pronounce it. But we have a lot of capital stuff coming up. And even if only 80% of what we're proposing for the next 3 years gets approved, it's going to be awesome. It is literally going to be awesome. From simple things as new bathrooms in Village Hall, which is downstairs, which you'd think, well, that's not exciting. It's pretty exciting for me when you have people from other professional organizations come out and you're like, it's really nice and new down here in this room, but the bathrooms maybe are still a little bit outdated. So we're excited to do just silly stuff like update the bathrooms, but hopefully get a community center and keep growing as a park district. New administrator, I already mentioned. We are actually the real hot topic item for us right now. We hired Ian. It was a brand new position. It was facilities. And we have increased our facility rentals by 25%, and he hasn't even finished his first year here, which for a small district like us, 25% is a huge amount of money. So you'll see a lot of that facility marketing stuff coming out, and then I'll just point to some pictures. If you don't know, we have 8 tennis courts at Miller Park. It's Kenneth and Sunset, and they were newly resurfaced. So if you haven't been there, check them out. They're a beautiful thing. Like I said, Village Hall downstairs, which you guys used to know is the lower level, but we tried to be more creative with a better name, as Village Hall sounds fancier. Kathy Jones Memorial Walk Path, raise your hand if you were a part of that. That was definitely a heart-connected event. I knew Kathy personally. She was on the concert committee for years. She was a force to be reckoned with, to put it lightly. But in her last year or two of being with us, she really softened, and I just really appreciated her. And she will live on. The concerts are dedicated to her, and all of the walk path at Phoenix Park is in her name. And it just goes to show you being connected to community and being a little bit of a firecracker never hurt anybody. And so anytime I ever hear anybody call me kiddo, I always think of her. You could have been a year younger than her and she would have called you kiddo. All right, wrapping it up. What is a community partner? A lot of you have mixed feelings. Why do I need a contract with the park district? Yada, yada, yada. Back in the day, we just wrote it on the back of a napkin, passed the key around to a couple 20 members. You know, we're trying to be a little bit more accountable for what we do have, and we're trying to keep it for as long as we do, and we're trying to keep it in good shape. So when you know better, you do better. And I'm quoting Maureen Zamariba, but that was one of her sayings she used to say. She was our administrator before, and it's just when you know better, you do better. It's nothing personal. If we could, we'd love to give all you keys, because then that means we don't have to try and be over here to unlock it at a certain time, and we can go work at a different project, but that's our job. We're supposed to be here and do that for you. We have over 20 partners: Rotary, Lions, Chamber, Theater Festival. The Cemetery District is one of our community partners. We've got sports groups. We've got gardens. If you don't know this, we have 2 community gardens. They are quite awesome and a beautiful thing to see. One at Fair Oaks Park and one at Phoenix. I didn't put it up here. Oh, I did. We have a horticulture center. If you don't, it's open like almost 24/7. When the park's open, the hort center is open. It's in the back of Fair Oaks Park. It's a wonderful sight to be seen. They do a harvest day event it's the first Saturday in August every year. 3,000 people in the park, minimum. So the list goes on. What does it mean to be a partner? It's about an 8-page contract, but just in a quick version, it just means that we have a mutually beneficial relationship where we put down on paper and then also have a conversation about what are your goals, what's your mission, what do you want to accomplish this year, this is what we want to accomplish, let's talk about how we can help each other do that. If it's just as simple as we can help you by renting you a facility, you can pay us, well, it can be that simple. But at the same time, we really want partnerships. It was a partnership to resurface the tennis courts. The walk path was a partnership. The tree was a partnership. If you're not getting the trend here, it's partnership. So if you want to know more about the community partnership relationship, I'm happy to talk with anyone, but usually your president each year is the contact for that. So we've been working with Ann this year, and it's been wonderful. So that's what being a community partner means. There's the Rotary Club, and it's my park day. And this is me doing a selfie with Leah, who's our garden coordinator at Fair Oaks, and Pete Schroeder, who snuck in. If you don't know this, another partner is the Fair Oaks Water District, and every year we support their poster contest. Has anyone heard about the water conservation poster contest they do? So we actually support that, and what they our connection to that is what the winner gets is a week at summer camp, and it's the coolest thing ever. We get to go to the school, different every year, give it to the kids who won, and they're so excited. By the time I leave, they're already trying to pick what week they're coming to. So it's a really neat connection, and it helps the park district jump on board for water conservation. Oh, Mike Maddox and Barbara Sestito and Shelly, and a side shot of Bob. That is the Rachel Ann Gray Memorial Scholarship Dinner. And then we did a photo competition at Chicken Festival this last year because we thought, why not spice it up a little bit? I gave a prize to whichever of the staff members could take the most photos with our community partners, so that was a fun little challenge. So I'll shoot through these. That's Kim from the Chamber. All right, so this is the time for questions. Any questions? Pete's going to help me regulate if there's too many. Yes, sir.